Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I am up past my bedtime yet again bringing you a video. It's past 1:30 in the AM where I live. I'm in the United States, in the Midwest. I should be asleep right now, but something caught my attention. It's about XRP being used as money. There's a particular app being built that I came across, and I want to share that with you. And since I was going to record on that, I found a few fun things to talk to you about, including a senior Ripple employee, as it turns out, wrote an article in April of this year, so about a month and a half ago, about how Facebook can use blockchain to pretty much save their company, or at least improve it. And isn't the timing of that interesting, given that Facebook very recently announced that they are in fact using blockchain, and they're going to be announcing their own, releasing their own cryptocurrency, which is a stablecoin. So I got that, and then I got a few other fun things that I'll talk about as well. Before we get going here, if you would please delicately tap that like button, I would definitely appreciate it, but do not smash it. You're going to hurt the thing. You don't want to hurt that sensitive little like button. I won't like you if you do that. I won't like you. You don't want to get on the bad side of that like button. And if you would please subscribe. Come on, well, I am up past my bedtime. Give me some credit for that. At least try to bring you a video at 1:30 in the AM, right? No. But no, seriously, I would appreciate it if you don't hate every word coming out of my mouth. Just consider it. I would appreciate the support. So let's get into it here. This is from @XRPeezy, at XRPEEZY on Twitter. He tweeted out, "Still have a bit of work to do, but it's release worthy, and it will have to go through the app approval process, but it's completely functional. Let me know what you think." And so what he released here, the link to this, and I will include this link here, it's to a YouTube video, and it's just a demo of this payments application that works with Shopify. And I actually Googled what is Shopify, which I'll pull up here, just to get a quick synopsis of what it actually is, because, of course, I've heard of them, and you probably have too. I just haven't used them for anything, not that I can recall anyway. And so by Googling that, there's this little thing on the right side here that shows what they are. And Shopify Incorporated is a Canadian e-commerce company headquartered in Ottawa, Ontario. It is also the name of its proprietary e-commerce platform for online stores and retail point-of-sale systems. And fascinating enough, I didn't realize that they were a public company, but look, they're traded on the New York Stock Exchange, and I found that fascinating. I didn't realize that they were massive to that degree, so that was kind of interesting here. But anyway, clicking on this video here, it was neat to see just this little demo here. Again, this isn't live yet, but there was a demo transaction that was taking place, and there was a transaction cost for this theoretical, occurrence here, and then a QR code popped up, and then he was able to scan the code, and then XRP was transferred from his wallet to pay for this, and it was XRPeezy, as his name states here. And I thought it was the coolest freaking thing on the planet, because, look, I've talked in the past about how Bitcoin's original purpose, I've said it many times recently, actually, but Bitcoin's original purpose is to be used as a peer-to-peer cryptocurrency, and I've cited that, actually, one of the things I pointed out, it's been a while since I made this point, but XRP, of course, can be used for that too, because it's a decentralized cryptocurrency, digital asset, whatever you want to call it, but until recently, there was actually nobody pushing for that use case. And if you look down here, take a look who replied to this. It's no other than Wind, creator of the XRP tip bot. And he responded, "This is really cool and a really clever solution." So it was neat that he was the first comment on there. And by the way, this was just released a few hours ago, so I may be the very first YouTuber covering this particular topic. But Wind here, he is also, he owns XRPL Labs, and he's gotten funding from Ripple through their Spring initiative to utilize XRP in fun, unique ways and all that good stuff. And he's one of the things that he's working on is having XRP used as an actual currency. So he's got his own app here. And then XRPeezy here, he's got a separate app completely unrelated to what XRPL Labs is doing to have XRP actually implemented as a payment option on Shopify. And from what I gathered here is the way it would work is you would actually, if you're going to use this, you download the actual app, and then it would interface with the existing Shopify format. You'd just be able to pay via a different method. And that's why I say, and again, you need to go through an approval process once this is completely done. But again, it's functional, he says, and so once he gets that going, I think it would be really cool to see this. And this is one of those things where this use case, cryptocurrency being used for actual payments, I think it can take hold over time. the question is always, why am I going to use this? What problem is this solving? And for me, at least sitting here in the United States, look, I'm using the United States dollars for my daily transactions. It's not a great point of friction in my life. I understand the back-end settlement is slow, and so there's improvement to be made there. But I think that you're going to see this particular use case take hold in countries where there is more friction, where it can be better utilized sooner than later. But that isn't to say that it wouldn't take hold ultimately in first world countries like where I live here in the United States. And so, consider this. As adoption takes place, because there are so many use cases for XRP, especially thanks to the way Ripple is just being a really responsible, cheerleader for the blockchain, of course, but also for XRP and the entire XRP ecosystem. And look at what they're doing to get funding to people that have clever, unique ways, different business models beyond what Ripple's doing to utilize XRP. And so the point being, as XRP continues to get used, retail speculators like you and me, we're just going to continue to grow our faith. Other people are going to come in, see XRP is actually being used in a variety of ways by actual businesses, and that will give faith in retail speculators so that, what supply and demand will do there. Over time, the price should organically go up. And of course, it's crypto, so I know there's going to be a lot of volatility. Probably for the foreseeable future. I don't know what that means, but years and years, I suspect. And, of course, also understand it's not just the retail speculators, though. As the businesses need to use this, there will be all sorts of reasons that businesses would want to hold this. In the case of Ripple, I've covered in recent videos how market makers would need to actually hold XRP in order to participate within the ecosystem. They absolutely have to hold it because they're buying XRP and they're selling it to make fees on the buying and selling of the transactions. But then in order to do that again, they have to buy more XRP. So it's always in the ecosystem. The point being is, as this ecosystem continues to grow, you're going to see that faith, and you're going to see people begin to use XRP as a store of value. And really, I'm kind of doing that myself. Like, I'm a speculator, and I hope that I can make profit on this, assuming that this is globally adopted in the way that I'm certainly hoping, and probably the way you're hoping if you're a fellow XRP enthusiast like I am. I'm a huge XRP bull for sure. But, once that's happening here, of course, a natural approach, say that XRP gets to the point where it's worth tens of dollars, or maybe it even enters triple digits at some point. I'm not here to make price predictions or hype it up, but say it does, just hypothetically. If it does, if you're holding XRP, if this is an option at some point, especially if at some point the XRP price and other cryptocurrencies probably, what if the price does stabilize? What if the price of XRP grows to the point where it's worth so much and the price stabilizes that you're like, I don't really need to sell it even. You can just freaking use it and it's worth a ton relative to other fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies and other assets. If that's the case, well, maybe you do want to start actually using it as the currency if it's just easy and you already hold it. But in the short term, is the problem that it can solve that big for someone in my particular situation? Not really, but yeah, it'd be nice. It would be nice to have down the road. And so I think that all the other use cases are going to take hold first. And once XRP really, really, really is the standard for all sorts of applications, it's only natural that if cryptocurrencies are going to be around forever, and hint, hint, they are, it only makes sense that at some point XRP would also be used for regular daily transactions, your daily life. You could buy your groceries and gasoline with it. We just need the interface for it. And I like to see these steps. This is very early on stuff here, but this is to be applauded. This is really to be applauded. And, I don't know exactly what the interface is going to look like another 5-10 years from now. I don't know what developers are going to win out. I don't know if this is something that's going to become huge or not, but it's exciting. These are the developments that we want to see, and it will help big picture to ensure that the XRP ecosystem continues to thrive. And so I went to this video. I watched it. It's only 3 minutes. If you've got some time, definitely check it out. It was cool to see the demo in action. And I'm proud to say, again, so this tweet, he put this tweet out just a few hours ago, and he launched a YouTube channel just to show this demo, so kudos to that. I can appreciate that as a YouTuber that's only been around for half a year, and I have my own small channel. So anyway, I'm proud to say I was his first subscriber. He had 0, and I was like, oh, I like your video, so I gave it a thumbs up. By the way, I delicately tapped that like button. I didn't want to break it. He just launched the channel. I don't want to be going in there all reckless, smashing all these like buttons. This guy doesn't even know Moon Lambo. He's going to start not liking me and all that crap. So I did that, and I subscribed. So if you feel so inclined, please take a look. I think it's worth the time here. On to the next topic here. I saw this tweet. This is from Ripple. I'm sorry. Somebody, I wish I could credit the right person. I can't remember, but somebody tweeted this out, pointed out yesterday that Ripple had this tweet from April, and then ultimately I found it here. I would feel better crediting the person because they went out of their way to point it out, like find it and actually point it out, but I couldn't find it. So anyway, here it is from the Ripple page, and they tweeted this out. It's, how can Facebook scale in emerging markets and shift its monetization strategy by tapping blockchain for payments? And then they got a link to this. And this is from April 25th, 2019, so about a month and a half ago. And it's written by none other than Ashish Burla. Are you guys familiar with this guy? He is the Senior Vice President of Product at Ripple. Did I get that right? Let me scroll down. I know I got the title down here. I'm pretty sure I said that right. I don't want to get it wrong. Yeah, Ashish Burla, Senior Vice President of Product at Ripple. And he's one of the original guys to be working at the company. I mean, he goes way back to, it may have been like 2012 or something like that. He was pretty much there from the beginning. And so he's got the big picture. And so I find this piece fascinating. Again, it's titled, Can Blockchain and Privacy Save Facebook? And look, in case you don't know this, Ripple does employ former Facebook employees, so they have some inside knowledge here. I bet Ashish knows something, and I find it highly fascinating. Not drawing too many any specific conclusions from it, and you can only speculate. But I'm telling you, the employees at Ripple, they know stuff. Ashish, sure, I'm sure he's got some inside knowledge because of the fact that they do employ former Facebook employees here. So let me read just a couple pieces of this here and help you get the big picture here, because what they were talking about, what Ashish wrote in this piece here, and it's only 4-minute read, so if you've got time, click the link below. Of course, I'm going to share that with you. But it's kind of like, yes, okay, so we don't have the white paper out for Facebook's new coin, but it sounds like it's going to tie together the commerce interactions with on their various platforms that they own, and that's kind of what he's saying here in part. There's more to it than that. But he starts out by writing, there's no doubt that Facebook is going big with private communication, but to truly succeed with this new business model, the company must rethink the way it monetizes content across its platform. One solution would be developing a third-party app ecosystem around content, an ecosystem where financial services and payments are key. Blockchain technology, built and maintained by the company's in-house blockchain group, would be the ideal engine to power these new services. Everything from Facebook's private messaging to the transactions that take place across the platform. In this post, we'll examine how the company arrived at this new model, why it's poised to succeed, and the implications for Facebook and beyond. And this is insightful here. And it's, what was kind of interesting? One of my favorite parts, I'll probably read another snippet down here. I'll save most of this for you. If you guys are interested enough, feel free to read it yourself. I'm not going to read entire articles for you because I don't think people generally like that. You're very capable adults, so you're very capable of reading on your own. But if I could find the part, there's something where they were talking about, maybe I scrolled past it, about, here we go. So he's calling this the super app model and how it's thriving in Asia, this whole particular concept that he's proposing Facebook pursue here. And he's stating that in non-emergent markets, such as the United States, where credit card adoption is prevalent, the Google and Apple Pay stores solve third-party app discovery and payment friction. Consumers give their credit card details to an app store, and this information becomes available for use across the app ecosystem. Like Google and Apple, Facebook's secure messaging platform could enable third-party apps to plug their services into and around the chat application. By doing this, it would make services like blockchain-enabled payments available across the app ecosystem. So taking it further, Facebook could leverage blockchain for financial services directly in-platform and help facilitate online payments and other financial services, especially in emerging markets that are rapidly transforming from cash to digital payments here. So what do you guys think? Is this coincidence here in the timing of it all? It's crazy that this type of article goes out here, and it just seems like from all that's leaked out of Facebook, it's not that much that's leaked out prior to the white paper being released, but what has leaked out, it seems like exactly what Ashish here is talking about. And so either he's just ridiculously insightful or he's gotten some information from somebody else. And so I don't know. We can only speculate on that. So I don't know. I really don't. I'm not going to pretend to know. But nonetheless, it's pretty fascinating, I think. So, and again, I'll link this below. Check it out. Next, here's a tweet from XRP. It states, Analyst. Ripple's XRP to bridge gap between Facebook Coin, JPM Coin, others. And there's another bullet point. A popular YouTuber by the name Digital Asset Buy has said Ripple's XRP is going to bridge the gap. And so here's an article. It links that. It's from todaysgazette.com. Titled, Analyst, Ripple's XRP to bridge gap between Facebook Coin, JPM Coin, others. And this is exactly what I've been talking about in my last couple of videos, in part anyway. You know, the Libra coin that Facebook is launching, it is a stable coin. We do know that much, and we know that it's backed by a basket of fiat currencies. And so within their own personal network, they can solve remittance issues for their little walled garden. And for them, maybe it'll even be a big walled garden. After all, they do have 2.3 billion users. I don't know how many are active, but anyway, billion with a B, which is crazy considering the population of Earth is what? I think we're over 7 billion now. I don't know the exact number, but that's a huge percentage of humans on this particular platform, so that's crazy. So maybe it could be a big walled garden to some degree if they can get people to actually use it. If it's going to solve a problem for certain people, maybe there's a case to be made. If you go back to the article that I just read part of, there are more details on it about the reason it could be adopted quicker in Asia, specifically because of the way that they'd have to go to market, and also the way that people in Asia are currently making payments. There is more friction involved, and they might be more apt to actually consider using it. And so again, that is remittances, but it's not exactly the market that Ripple is by and large going after by trying to solve the cross-border payments problem with XRP as a bridge currency. They're targeting banks and financial systems, and yeah, those banks and financial institutions, sure, they have some individual customers, certainly, there's no denying that, but they're also facilitating very large multi-million-dollar transactions, and that's just not what Facebook is going after. So I made the point in my last video, there could be some overlap there, but their business models are vastly different, so I have no fear of Ripple and their plan being thwarted by Facebook, and that's not the only reason. I'm not going to I've already covered in my last couple of videos, so I promise I won't get into it. But if you want to know, then feel free to check out my last couple of videos. But there are other reasons, and it's not going to work with a stablecoin. It's just not going to, big picture. But I do agree with this, and so I made the point in previous videos that when there are these various walled gardens, the only thing that's going to be able to efficiently connect them outside of the legacy Swift system, which is a train wreck in and of itself, you need to have a digital asset that can be used as a bridge currency that is not a stable coin, that is not backed by fiat currency, that has its own value, that is determined by the marketplace. And I'm talking about the price that humans choose to buy and sell XRP for on exchanges. It's humans. It's purely humans that are deciding what it's worth, and right now it's largely based on speculation. It's supply and demand, of course, and there is some utility starting to take hold, and that does affect price, but price is more so being affected at this point primarily by speculators. That'll change over time, of course. So there'll be more speculators coming on board, of course, but as more actual developers come on board, as market makers come on board, that's going to sap up a whole lot more XRP, assuming Ripple is able to achieve their vision for really making XRP the standard, a mechanism that is the standard for cross-border payments. And so the more walled gardens there are, whether it's Facebook's coin or JP Morgan's coin, because JP Morgan's, they're creating their own little walled garden, the only way to connect them, because they're not going to use each other's coins, they're not going to trust each other, that's the whole point, is to use a trustless system, which is what the XRP ledger is. That's always going to be needed. And so even if there's a little bit of overlap with some of these models, these bank coins and the Facebook coin and any stable coin that you're going to try and use for remittances, they're all going to encounter the same problem. They're centralized. They're walled gardens. And that's why Ripple's plan is so fantastic and so unique, it's going to be used. And there are a bazillion other reasons. But I wanted to point that out because Digital Asset Investor, he's one of my very favorite YouTubers, and I've been following him for probably not too long after he launched his channel. I think he may have launched in like May of last year or so, and it was within the first few months that he had launched his channel that I was lucky enough to come across him, and I've been enjoying watching his content ever since. And so he cited in this article, so I did want to read this little part. It says, a digital asset investor sees Ripple's XRP bridging the gap between Facebook coin, JPM coin. A popular YouTuber by the name Digital Asset Investor has said Ripple's XRP is going to bridge the gap between Facebook's Libra coin, Bitcoin, and some other digital currencies. The YouTuber said Facebook Global Coin, which is going to be a stable coin, most likely tied to a basket of fiats, is going to be the one of the best things that ever happened to the entire crypto space. Speaking further, digital asset investor said Ripple's XRP has its own use case, and Ripple has been working on this for the past 6 years. He said XRP is used as a bridge asset and for on-demand liquidity. He maintained that there are going to be different walled gardens like the central bank's digital asset, or a bank digital asset like JPM Coin or Facebook Coin. However, he said XRP, considering that it has more volume, is going to be bridging the gaps between these digital assets. And then there's a link to his video here, so you should check that out too. But he's absolutely correct, and I had made this point in the past, and it's absolutely true. And given that he's featured here, and I'm a fan of him, I thought I'd share this with you. But look, the walled garden solutions are never going to be the end-all, be-all. And so when people say the sky's falling because Facebook releases a coin or JP Morgan announces that they've got their own little bank coin, don't listen to Chicken Little. The sky's not falling, guys. It's people that believe that it's one of two things. They're either ignorant, as in they literally don't know what the heck they're talking about, or they have an ulterior motive. Maybe it's that they're a Bitcoin maximalist, or who knows. Maybe they're anti-crypto in general. I couldn't really tell you, and they just feel like a stable coin is at least better than Bitcoin or XRP or who knows what. But it's a bunch of nonsense regardless. So definitely know that. But, check this out now. Here we got, this is a piece from AMBCrypto.com. This is just a little feel-good piece here. Check this out. XRP getting stuff done here. It's titled, XRP closes 48 million ledgers. XRPL Labs introduces solution for users' destination tag problem. And this is just something of a milestone. It would have been cool if it was like 50, because then it's a nice even number halfway to 100 million. But still, this is a big number. And it's going to be funny looking back, a good 5, 10, 15 years from now. We're like, holy crap. 48 million, it's going to be what's it going to be in the billions or trillions or whatever, depending on what kind of global adoption we're seeing here. But this is going to sound like nothing. But as I'm sitting here speaking this to you right now in this video, I was just like, that's crazy. 48 freaking million ledgers closed. And that's without massive adoption yet. We're still really early on with this nascent asset class. And things are happening. But this is going to be like nothing in the big picture. So anyway, check this out. It says, XRP, the third largest cryptocurrency on CoinMarketCap list, did not undergo radical changes in its price. Did I start it? Oh, I'm sorry, I scrolled down. No, that is how it started. I don't know why it started like that. I didn't remember that. My apologies. Very unprofessional of me. I apologize. Whatever. Give me a break. It's almost like 2 in the morning here. I'm tired. Even though the fluctuating price of Bitcoin impacted the prices of most major cryptocurrencies, however, XRP's performance outside the market proved essential to boosting the momentum of the community. Okay, gotcha. And then they lead into this. So that's why it said that. XRP Scan shared news of XRP ledger crossing 48 million ledgers closed via tweet. XRP Scan tweeted this, and you can see it on the screen here. Ledger index 48 million, June 16th, 2019. And it goes on. The community got another reason to support the team of developers working for XRP, as one of their alien problems regarding destination tags was solved. A Ripple software engineer, Nick Bugalis, and I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I've quoted him so many times on this channel, and I apologize, Nick, if I'm not getting your name pronounced right. Somebody let me know. I'm not sure. But Nick Bugalis suggested to Team XRPL Labs a tagged address format that can solve issues with destination tags. And so here's what Nick had to say. He wrote, destination tags are a cool XRP ledger feature, but having to specify 2 things, an account and a tag, instead of one, is a pain for users and developers alike. I am proposing a new tagged address format, which fixes the shortcomings but keeps all the cool. Raise your hand if you agree with that. Let me tell you what. When I came into the crypto space, because there's no destination tags with Bitcoin, so that's going back and forth. And so then the first altcoin I bought that wasn't on Coinbase, because I did initially start my crypto journey with Coinbase, as many of you have, no doubt. The first one I bought, after doing some research, it was a week after I jumped in the space, and I was like, holy crap, XRP, this could actually be used. And that's when my journey started. I had no idea what I had stumbled upon. Not in full. I just was excited. I was like, wait, this is the first cryptocurrency I've come across after researching, at that point, a couple dozen probably. And I was like, this is the only one I see that is on the cusp of gaining real-world adoption and has actual utility. And so I remember buying that, but when I did, I couldn't do it on Coinbase, so I had to buy my Bitcoin on Coinbase and then transfer it over. I ended up using Shapeshift and then got it transferred to GateCub. It was a whole rigmarole. I didn't like it. But then the whole thing popped up with at some point with a destination tag, and I don't remember if I first had to deal with that. It was probably on Shapeshift. I probably did, just trying to recall here. And I saw that and I was like, what the hell is that? Because I had bought at that point Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. That's all that was on Coinbase at the time. And then I'm buying my XRP and it says destination tag. I'm like, what in the name of Jesus is this? Like, I have no idea what I'm staring at here. And then I'm getting warnings that if I don't type in a destination tag, or if it's incorrect, then my funds may be lost forever. And then it terrified me. I didn't know what the hell was going on here. And so that's why the reason I wanted to tell that little personal story, my experience when I jumped in anyway, when I didn't get what the hell it was, is he's right here. Nick is absolutely correct when he wrote, and this is again what he said, it's a pain for users and developers alike. Yes, it was, especially if you're a new guy. Like when I was new and I jumped in over a year and a half ago, I didn't know what the heck I was looking at. It was like some serious, I don't know, insanity from my perspective. Just trying to get acclimated with the whole crypto space, wrap my head around, and then I'm getting requests for destination tags thrown at me. Now, as it turns out, for instance, like Binance, you have to. I'm just using them as an example. I kind of mentioned this in one or two videos ago, but Binance, for example, when I moved all of my XRP off of Binance, they do make you use destination tags. And so when you move all of your XRP off of a platform like Binance, for example, that address that's actually not your address. That's a shared wallet address for Binance, and many users use it. And so the destination tag is basically, think of it as your personalized username for your portion of that wallet. And that's what the destination tag is used for, at least with exchanges. If there are other use cases for that, I don't know them off the top of my head. So actually, if you're aware of any, look, I don't know everything. I'm here to learn too. I'd like to share what I know with you, but I don't know everything. So if you know, I would really be interested, and I would be happy to credit you and cite that in a future video if you are aware of any other reasons that destination tags are used. But it's cool. But and I like that exchanges are set up like that, because when I moved all of my XRP off of Binance, because it's a shared wallet, I was able to take all of my XRP off. I didn't have to leave 20 XRP as a reserve, because there was certainly more than XRP amongst all of the users on that particular shared wallet. So there's an actual use case for that. But it's not friendly. It's not easy to use. And so check this out. Here's the next piece on this. We'd Say When, he's the creator of the XRP tip bot again, and XRPL Labs, just mentioned him a few minutes ago. He had a suggestion, which was implemented. When said that since it would be a packed address, it would have destination and destination tag, thus making it easier for the users. While a Twitter user raised questions over its efficiency and slowing down the crypto exchange that would adopt it, Wind said, I disagree. I think it will improve adoption, since whatever anyone comes up with, a migration period will be required. This allows exchanges, wallets, etc. to detect the input and automatically take care of the rest, while users slowly get used of there being two valid formats. So that's pretty cool stuff there. I think one of the major things it's just going to happen is this long chain of letters and numbers that you have to copy and paste into various fields to move your cryptocurrencies. Look, that's got to go bye-bye. It's got to be one day as easy to send crypto as it is to send a text message or to send an email. And when we get to that point, when everything has that level of interoperability, and maybe you just attach a username to it, and then there are security measures in place that you can prove who you are if you're actually moving value. Well, once that happens, it's going to be much easier for mainstream anyone, whether it's mainstream USA or any other country around the world, to actually jump in and begin to literally use their cryptocurrencies. In particular, if we're talking about the use case of a peer-to-peer money. I'm sorry, guys. It is late. I need to go to bed. I'm probably my brain's misfiring right now. So I'm going to wrap up this video in a few minutes here. I just got a couple more things I wanted to tell you about here. I saw this from Tiffany Hayden, very well-known XRP community member here, and I found this fascinating. She tweeted out, "Thanks for not tracking me at BitHomp. first of all, if you don't know, BitHump, it's a website you can actually plug in your XRP address, just paste it on in there, and it's going to show your entire transaction history, because the ledger, it's public in the sense that you can actually see that type of stuff. Maybe you want to call it not anonymous, but pseudo anonymous, because it doesn't say who it is that owns the address, but you know, the information, like in terms of the dollar value wallets, like it is public, right? Which is, you know, for the sake of transparency, that's actually highly useful. So that way people can have faith within the cryptography that secures the network anyway. But anyway, and she goes on to tweet, "I'm happy that you are using @coil to monetize your website rather than my data. You are a pioneer in the blockchain space, and CoinDesk should take notes." And so here, let me click on this for you right here. And you can see right here, look at this, BitHump. And there's the Coil logo right there, which, by the way, I don't know about you guys, but every time I look at that Coil logo, it looks to me kind of like that C in Chick-fil-A, so I always think I'm looking at like a Chick-fil-A logo. Is that just me? I don't know. Coil's great, though. Like, I'm not talking trash on them. I love Coil. I love Stefan Thomas, who's making this all happen. I love his vision for, you know, a new method for web monetization, so I think it's fantastic. But the logo kind of looks like Chick-fil-A to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. But anyway, it's the coolest freaking thing, because I didn't realize that BitHump was doing this, and it's just every time I see one of these things, I'm like, yes, 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 more adoption. This is what I want to see. I want to see this take hold, and you know, in part because I freaking hate paywalls, and it's good to have options outside of traditional advertisements to get to content on the web, whether it's a video or a blog or whatever it may be. So I do like this kind of progress, and I wanted to share that with you as a result here. But yay, good for BitHump. And if you're not aware of them, again, go to BitHump, plug in your address, and you can track your own stuff. It's an easy way to pull up your own wallet if you just want to like check your stash or something like that. I do it from time to time just for the fun of it. Next piece here, and this is just for fun. I came across this and I thought, yup. Well, by and large, anyway. I'm not sure who this Twitter person is, but they're at Rhythm Trader, and I just liked the tweet, so I thought I'd share it with you. And here's what it says. The last time Bitcoin rose above $9,000, and then he's got a list here. Fidelity wasn't storing it. Congress wasn't fighting it. Bakkt wasn't launching with it. Microsoft wasn't building on it. TD Ameritrade wasn't trading it. Whole Foods wasn't accepting it. And lastly, Facebook wasn't competing with it. Now, I do dispute that last one, because I don't really see Facebook competing with Bitcoin. The most argument you can make is like minimal crossover technically, but it's not. I've already covered in the last couple of videos. It's not really competing with it. But nonetheless, I get the sentiment, and I do appreciate what this particular Twitter user had to say here. The point is, there's a lot more infrastructure here. And I think that's important. There are a lot more custody solutions and this and that, and that's why I think the next time a bull run really, really, really gets going, and maybe we're at the beginning of it now, oh man, sky's the limit, guys. And so I'm thinking big. I'm optimistic. I don't know exactly how this is going to pan out, and again, I don't ever make price predictions, but I do continue to put my own money into specifically XRP. At this point, it's the only cryptocurrency that I continue to purchase. It's something that I'm confident in. I'm well informed on it. I'm always researching it quite a bit on a daily basis. And it's not financial advice. I'm not a professional in terms of making, in terms of like a financial background or anything like that, or an investment background. I'm a regular guy. I'm a guy that's just like you, that appreciates XRP. I just happen to be putting YouTube videos out there because I'm excited about it. That's pretty much it. So don't buy or sell anything because of me. I just wanted to say that real quick. Last thing I wanted to say, and this just made me kind of chuckle a bit, so I thought I'd share it with you. I shared a story in my last video about how Craig Wright is claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto, creator of Bitcoin. And so people are calling Craig Wright Fake Toshi. There's like a hashtag thing going on, a hashtag campaign, Fake Toshi, referencing Craig Wright. And so this Twitter user, Jimmy T, wrote, "Forget Fake Toshi. When are people going to start pretending to be David Schwartz?" And then he tagged David Schwartz, who is at Joel Katz on Twitter. And David Schwartz actually responded. And his response was, and again, the question is, when are people going to start pretending to be David Schwartz? David's response was, "I've been getting away with it for decades." And so I read that, and I just kind of chuckled. I thought I'd end the video by sharing that with you. So, yeah. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. And if I were a little less coherent than normal, I'm just exhausted. It's probably, actually, I'm going to look at the clock here. What is it? 2:13 a.m. All right. So I'm sorry if my brain wasn't firing on all cylinders right now, but hopefully it was still enjoyable and you got something out of this video. I really do appreciate the support, though, regardless. Thanks so much for listening. And I'll end the video the same as I always do. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Good night, everybody.